Good afternoon. Today we're going to do just a little quick demo. We've got the season coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, all the seasons are happening. And during that time we have a lot of guests over at the house and we go through a lot of beverages, and that just accumulates a lot of stuff. And I'm going to show you what I usually do every season, and I'm going to share with you so you can set it up yourself. What you're going to need is a stapler, just a cup drill, a scissors, a hacksaw, and a piece of wood, and you'll also need a vise. If you've got those things, you could do this. So what you would do is you would take your piece of wood. This does not have to, there's no science to it. Cut the piece of wood in half. Once you have the piece of wood cut in half, you'll have two pieces. You take what you'll want to do is get your cup drill, set that up, cut through, you'll cut your piece off, and that's all you have to have on there, about a 6-inch piece of wood cut with a cup drill. Take the other half and staple it to, you can keep it here, and staple the second half onto there. It just needs to be stapled, does not need to be screwed or anything else. Then you take that, because this piece that we put the circle in is going to be doing all the work. We set that up into our vise and we make sure that that's securely tightened. I put a little tray, I just stapled that on. It's just cheap Tupperware throwaway thing. You're going to want to make sure that you have a sponge, an old sponge, dirty old misused sponge. Have that in your presence also. So what we'll start to do is we'll grab one of the containers, we put it through the hole, and there's no real science to it, and we just start cutting really close to the neck of the cap. We'll cut that down to about that far, and then we'll just go through the process. Usually what I do is I set up about 8 of them at a time. We'll have at least probably 40, 50 bottles with all the people that we have coming over to the house. So as you can see, we're on number 3 right here. We're going to have two main pieces. So we'll do 4 right. This is 4. So it moves along. There's no real big science to it. You can cut it down that far. Okay, so now we have to do a prep. So what we do is we take the bottle, and the bottle has a little lip on it, as you can see here. We want to move to the indentations. We'll insert that, and we'll cut right next to where the indentation is. We'll just do like a little forward and backwards, just to kind of get it started. We'll do that cut right there, just to give us a little start. We'll set that bottle there. Now we'll take the other one, and this time we'll go across the top of the bottle right here on the top side where this little line that goes around, runs around on there. We're going to set that in here. We're going to come back with our saw and start that. Just get it started. That's all we need to do. So right now we have a top and a bottom, and then we can kind of come back here and continue on cutting by the neck. I'm doing right here, cutting them down. Now the reason why I stopped there is normally just because what happens is that if you try to cut all the way through on these, they fall off, they bounce all over the place, they go on the floor and everything else. So this just really just kind of keeps it set up. So we got our top, our bottom. I just accidentally cut through the bottom one, so we'll reset a new bottom piece. So that it's fine. You can make mistakes. It doesn't matter. You're going to have plenty of these around. So like I said, I just accidentally cut the top one here off of the bottom piece, but you'll see why. Or this would actually be the top piece is what I'm prepping for right here, where we cut on that line. That's the top piece. Now just get it started. Okay, that's all the cutting that we're going to do. Now everything else becomes a procedural thing. Here's where I started. We take our scissors and we just cut around to where that line is, right there. See that? Just cut that off. And then we come back over here. We go to the next piece. Okay, let me see what I got going on here. This would be our top piece, and they'll fall around. That's okay. And this would be our bottom piece. So I'm following the line again, just on the opposite side. Now you'll see what the importance of the sponge is here in a second, because you know nobody just sits there and takes all the stuff out of the sponge. So that's our bottom piece. We got that, and we have this. And now we'll come back here, and these pieces that I prepped in the beginning what I do is I cut them off and I throw that into the tray, set this one up, find where I started it, and it just makes it so much easier to cut it off, set it in the tray, put that one over there. So we got to go through a couple of them. Things are flying all over because I'm trying to do it pretty fast to try to get this video done. Today's helper again, my expert cameraman, his name is Lincoln.
Hey.
And he's doing a good job. He just did a shout out. So he enjoys watching these videos. Okay, so now what we've done is we got our caps in there. Okay, we got a bottom, top, and then this guy's got to come off too. This cap comes off of there. So now that we have that set up, we're going to do the most important part now. Okay, this little guy here is going to have to be, I got to prep this one a little bit more. You'll make this, there's very little waste that goes into this. Everything can get recycled and put back into its spot. No big deal. Okay, so here's the whole trick. All of the bottles have a nutritional factor on it, and most of the bottles will have a swirl. It gives it the strength that it needs for the rigidity in the bottle to keep it together. What I do is I start just a little bit on that first one. I work over to the line, and then I cut myself down to here, and that's all the farther we need to go on that one. So then well, actually I'll go a little bit further because I can go further on this one. And sometimes if you want to follow your track, just get back into there, and then keep your scissors in there and follow that rim. You have to be on the opposite side of this. Otherwise, this procedure isn't going to work. If you work yourself over the top of the sponge, you won't get stuff on your workbench or your table. You'll be very limited to it, and it'll make cleanup really easy. So this is a procedure, just keeps going. Like I said, find your ingredients. Start on this side of it. Cut to there. You have to have a little bit of an angle on that top one, and then cut down to where you're right there. Keep the scissors in there. This is about 7 to 12 cuts around, depending upon, as you get going, it'll usually be about 7 clips around to cut that piece out. Then you can just keep setting them there. Have your sponge available to clean up stuff as it's tipping over. Sometimes I'll just do that to empty it out. And then, like I said, go to the nutritional value, come down to that rim, keep your scissors in there, because then you don't have to fight with anything to try to get it. So, as you can see, we're moving around, get to there. We're almost done, folks. Got 3 more. Lincoln, are you going to freeze to death? It's November and we're out in the garage, and it's a little bit chilly out here today. Not too bad though, is it? So then we just keep the scissors in, keep working around. It'll be probably more clear to you as you're on this side of it, cutting those off. Now we're down to 2 more. Find the nutritional value, stay a little bit to this side of it, because you have to cut that top piece out at an angle, and you'll see why in a little bit. I apologize. These are what I set up as 8 packs for this to put everything together. It just makes good sense to do it that way. Now we're down to the last one, Lincoln.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are. coming at the angle, going to the nutritional factor line to bring us down to here, keeping the scissors in, letting the solutions run down onto the sponge, keeping it nice and clean, going around, snip and snip and snip and snip. This is not surgery, folks. Okay, so what we've done is we've set these up in a way that we can start stacking them now. So we got this one stacked into that one, and there's no science. It doesn't matter what side you're putting on to which side. I usually just try to come over the top of this like that, grab the next one. I'm just feeling where the slice is. Go over the top of that one again. Now we're getting down here. Put this one to here and feel. I got another one there, so that's good. Okay, now there's going to be a little bit of a trick, just a tiny little trick that we have to do with this. Okay, so I got this top here. So we come over, and this top came from over on that one. So what I'm going to have to do, and this is why this hole is here, is because I'm going to have to come back to the drawing board where we started out, and I put this through, and see, now I'm able to hold that. Because that was the top part, the top piece that I didn't cut that off of there with the clipper. So if that happens, I mean, that's why I got this hole set up for us. And then we'll do like we did right in the beginning, is we just put our scissors through and we'll get this capped. And that's going to be a easy peasy thing to do. Now we got to go back here. I've got this pretty much squeezed as tight as I can get it. If you do keep them all going in the same direction, that seems to help out. So then I come over to where my little tray was right here, and I just start putting them in. 2, 4 of them right now, 6, and we'll stop at 7. 7's going to be the stinker. He's not going to really want to go into there. So what we do is we come over here, we grab our bottom, that's complete, and we turn it to that portion. Now, remember that ingredients line. Now that we have the bottles inserted, we can go somewhere just a little bit down the line where it's like that. We take the top piece, we work it over the top. You can loosen up the cap, and right there in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, what you have is 1, 2, 3, 4 bottles with 8 pieces. We take these bottom parts. As you can see, they're a little offset right now. We'll take the bottoms. We interstack these. That's why we went around to keep them low, for that very reason. And just come right back over here and take them, stack them onto the bottom of our pieces. So for the purpose of this, I left this one out just to show you. Let's back up a little bit so we get into the light. Now this is still rimmed underneath there, and if you cut it too short, it's not going to fit onto there. So that's why we're moving down to that perforation there, and then we're just going to cut across and then cut that, and we can do that later. But anyway, so there you have it. That's the way to utilize. Right now in front of you there are 32 pop bottles combined into 4, because 4 times 8 equals 32. And that's our video for today. Very little cleanup. We take our sponge, go to our work area, wipe that back up, clean that up. We can disassemble our little work jig, and there you have it. Season's greetings to all of you.